kind of a culmination of a lifelong dream for both of them. We do want to welcome the Wiseman family to our Warrior family. It's great to have you here, and also James' representation. The same thing with the Mannion family, and also the representation for Nico as well. This is kind of amazing. Pace Mannion was a Warrior draft pick, 43rd, so we've got another Mannion coming. Guys, let's start here. James, we'll start with you. I've never met anyone that just took Mandarin for fun in high school.
Right.
Like you're that wants to be a business magnet, philanthropy, phenomenal basketball player, and very well-rounded. But address the emotion from last night. I think that the one cool thing about the draft is we saw guys with their families and what that moment meant. And certainly being a Warrior meant something to you. Why don't you share that with us a little bit?
Just me going through adversity this past year, me not being able to play in college, really brought me down because I text my teammates every day. So really just that focal point really just kind of settled in a little bit, but just knowing my mental toughness and how far I came and just putting in the work this past year really has brought me down to that emotional breakdown. But I just found myself and this was an exciting moment, and this is a phenomenal moment for me. I'm just blessed to be in this position. So, yeah.
So Nico, as you're watching the draft, we have to tackle Steve Kerr whenever Arizona guys come up on the board. So that was really kind of a happy accident. Steve had seen you play a collegiate game here at Chase Center. You've already played in this building. What was the draft night like for you and your family?
It was pretty much the same as James would say. I didn't go through the adversity he went through, not being able to play last year. But I think this 8 months for everyone in the draft was a long period of time to go through the draft process and ups and downs with the virus, not being able to string it and play games. So I think it was just a rough time for everybody, and I think that kind of built up over time and kind of just brought a lot of emotions out last night.
Bob, what was it like in terms of a Zoom conversation with James, and then the league allowed you to go see him in person, and just, I don't think anyone's ever been scrutinized for 7 months before they were drafted. It's been such a unique year. Give us an idea of the thoughts on James Wiseman and why he was the Warriors selection.
Well, myself and Mike Dunleavy, Larry Harris got to see James Wiseman the last time he played basketball, which was up in Oregon. And we kind of yelled at him and said, "Shut it down, James, like stop playing, we'll take you." I'm kidding, I had no idea we were going to be as bad as we were at that point, or that would be his last game. But no, I mean, I don't know James very well, and I don't know Nico very well either. That takes a lot of time. But in regards to James, myself, and Steve Kerr, and our owner Billy, and Rick celebrating, went out and saw him, and oftentimes we try to get to know somebody. My favorite part of James was we went to a very socially distant, outdoor, safe meal with him, and he showed up by himself, and I like that. I think these guys they're young, both of them, but they're in a man's world now, and they're going to have to grow up. And I feel like now, I'm a parent of 3 daughters. The best thing you can do is let your kids, they gotta be on their own sometimes. And he handled himself well, and we got up to that dinner, we said, what a pleasant young man. And Steve Kerr went to Arizona, and Nico did, so I'm sure Nico's a wonderful guy too. But I sit here, and what I see of them, and I don't know them as well as many of you do. I see a seriousness, Bob, a seriousness and maturity about the game. They're coming to go to work. We're going to meet them, and it's going to be fun. And I'm excited to watch them grow and embrace them into our family and our culture. I think we're lucky to have them, and lucky to have us.
James, your path is interesting in that to have Penny Hardaway be your high school and collegiate coach, and then during this pandemic time, to be working with Dwayne Wade and LeBron's trainer in Miami, there was a serious approach to improving your body and your game and kind of the way you embraced working and becoming a better basketball player, even only being 19 years of age. Clearly, this is the goal and the lifelong dream. And I'm thinking how weird it's got to be to have gone to a Steph Curry youth camp and now be a teammate of Steph Curry's.
Right. I mean, it was a great moment just going to that camp and actually learning a lot of things they taught me. just like different moves and give me basic information like just.
Steph showed you how to dunk a lot, given his size.
No, he taught me like a lot of guard skills and skills like that. So really just taught me how to just gave me advice, gave a lot of campus advice, just stay dedicated to the game and just don't take it for granted. So I learned a lot from him just from that camp. But I mean, this past year, just me going through this training process, this pre-draft process has been great. I've been working on my body, my mind, and just been trying to be the best version of myself.
Nico, you've had an interesting road yourself into being born in Italy. You played internationally as a 17-year-old for Italy, the national team. Having that international flavor as well as coming to the United States. You also have attended a Steph Curry youth basketball camp, and now you're his teammate. To me, the world's kind of coming together. Your dad having played in the league. You've seen a lot as a very young man basketball-wise.
Yes, sir, I have. I was lucky enough to go over to Italy and play U16s, and then play with the next team the year after. And those experiences were great for me. I learned a whole lot. It's a different style of basketball over there in Europe, so I kind of tried to learn that style and incorporate it and try to bring it back to the U.S. Just to have more in my game. So those experiences were great for me. And like you said, my pops was drafted here, so when I heard the news I was coming here, that was super emotional because that was in the back of my mind as well.
I got to ask you before we open up the question to everybody else, the perfunctory draft question for any young player is, who did you grow up watching, James? Model your game after, like their style of play, or maybe something you see similarities in what you would like to become as a player?
I'd say Kevin Garnett, just his versatility, him being able to use his agility for his size and just space the floor out, and just being able to run the rebound and block shots and just watching his tenacity for the game really improved my mental and just made me work even harder to just get to that point or just get to that pinnacle.
You always talk about jumpers for big guys. Like, dunks are still really cool, too. Like, don't get rid of that part of your game. That's still really good when you're 7'1". Nico, someone that you enjoyed or emulated or looked up to basketball-wise besides your dad?
Of course, my pops. I watched got to see some of his clips. But I'd say the player that I look up to the most and kind of watch the most film on and study the most is probably Steve Nash, just because of his IQ and the way he sees the game, plus the kind of person he is off the court. So I'd say Steve Nash alongside my pops.
All right, if you got questions for either James, Bob,
Can I jump in and ask them a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
I don't know. I want to hear him say something in Mandarin we have a multicultural fan base, so I'd love to hear some Mandarin. If you can say like excited to be here. Nico, have you got any Italian or maybe some? I'm excited to be here.
Now, James,
Mandarin and Italian.
Now, James, you should know. I mean, outside of mainland China, one of the largest populations of Chinese Americans is right here in San Francisco. So they're going to check your Mandarin. So if you haven't been studying, don't say something crazy that it doesn't work out.
Washington, Washington John was high, Washington was high, and Washington down my shot.
That was, I think he said Bob Myers is a great GM.
Nico in Italiano, please.
Sono contento di stare qua a San Francisco e giocare con questi giocatori e questa squadra.
Now, Bob's been in the league forever.
How great is that? How great is that?
Well, no, the nice thing is,
I can't speak any language.
if you need to argue with an official, do it in Mandarin or Italian, and you will not get technical fouls. You've discovered a unique skill that will work out.
Yeah, James, you mentioned your jumpers earlier. Where do you think your jumpers at? Do you feel comfortable taking that to a three? And where do you want it to be as you kind of move forward?
I feel very comfortable and confident in my jump shot. I've worked on my jump shot since college, since high school. I've just been using my strengths a lot because that's what you're supposed to do as a basketball player. But I'd say my jump shots most definitely got better. It's now way more consistent, and I feel very confident about it.
Jay, it's been, I believe, over a year maybe since you played the game. What will it mean for you to be back on the court even in this crazy COVID environment? And for both of you, like how much stuff do you guys have to do to get ready for practices like this days away?
I mean, it's a great feeling just to be able to go out there and just work hard with our teammates and just uplift each other and just make each other better every day. I've been through this pre-draft process, I've been playing a lot of pickup games with pros, so I've gained a little bit of experience. But I'll say this pre-draft process has been great for me, but I just can't wait to get to the Bay Area and just work on my game and just lift my teammates every day and just be a high character guy every day.
Really, for both of you, for James, if you can start, given the news in the last 24 hours, did it change your expectations of what you expect to contribute this season?
Not at all. Really, just to go in and just learn and just grow and adapt. I feel that just me coming to my first year, it's going to be a lot. But I'm ready for it, and I'm ready for everything. And I'm just willing to go, come in and just work and just prepare and just be the best version of myself and just learn as much as possible and grow my game.
I'd say the same thing for me, coming in and learning, especially at the point where I'm here and playing for Coach Curry, playing with Steph Curry. I think there's just a whole lot. It's another world, so I'll be able to learn a lot. That's really what I'm looking forward to the most.
James, this one's for you, Chris Albert from ABC 7 up here. I think it was Draymond who tweeted or put on Instagram a picture of you in a Warrior jersey as a kid. How cool was that? Have you talked to Steph or Dre or anybody yet on the team?
As soon as I got drafted, Draymond said, "Hey, look, as soon as you get drafted, I mean, ain't nobody not going to notice that you got drafted the next day, so be ready to work." And Steph actually texted me, gave me some words of encouragement. And so, I just can't wait to just put in work and just come in here and just have fun with my teammates and just work out and just uplift each other. So, yeah.
Have you had anybody coach you at the volume? Draymond Green might be assisting your defensive evolution. He's been known at the floor to put his center tag team partner in certain situations. I think you would be enjoying that. I know Penny Hardaway was loud, but Draymond Green might have a few things to teach you defensively.
Most definitely, Coach P put me in a lot of challenges in practice in terms of defensive end. So I'm really ready to just take on that challenge and just grow my game, just get better.
James, you gotta understand, when he yells at you, or Nico, he still loves you. He wants to win so bad. Don't take it personally. He's yelled at me. I don't think he's yelled at Joe. He's yelled at Steve for sure. He's yelled at all of our teammates. He's yelled at Steph. May have yelled at the media. That's just who he is. But he wins. So if you want to learn anything from that guy, he's a winner.
He's also a Defensive Player of the Year, so he's usually yelling very smart things.